Okay, so hopefully this time we will be good and there won't be any lag. Fingers crossed. Everything seems like it's going good. That's good. That's good. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's check the stream health. Seems to be doing good. So far, it doesn't look like there's any lag going on with my video. Whoops. Did not even do that. Alright, so we should be good, and we should be getting started real shortly. Today's live stream is going to be live stream number 10. This is number 10, and we're going to be creating an illustrated badge. Earlier, there were some technical difficulties. Luckily, everything seems to be working fine. I'm looking at the backlog here, and it looks like everything's good. No lag. Everything looks crisp. Good. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? Oh, I know I'm dealing with a headache now, having to call up my internet provider, restart my router, try and figure out what the heck was going on. But everything seems to be going good now. And so we can finally get started with today's live stream. Thanks again, Barry, for joining me. I feel so bad because I was like, do I just keep going and do I fight through this lag? And then I'm like, well, if I fight through it, then there could be something like a 45-minute plus lag. So I decided to stop the live streaming, figure out the problem, and then just come back. But thanks so much for rejoining, Barry. Hopefully we get some of the other people that were in here earlier, and we can really get things going. In fact, I'm going to jump onto Instagram live real quick and just say, all right, guys, so now officially I am live. You can see, right there. Whoops, right there. We're live right now, so come join us. Just swipe up, and I should have a link in there for you guys to join the live stream. Yep, so that's how creating Instagram stories goes. So let's see. Send that off, and hopefully we get a couple more people in here. So basically, like I said before, today is going to be all about creating an illustrated badge for my upcoming course, Daily Drawing Lessons. Excuse me. Drinking Perrier causes you to burp quite a bit, so I do apologize. And so I thought, originally the plan was that I was going to be launching Daily Drawing Lessons today, and I was going to work tirelessly over the previous 2 days in order to get it out there. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Some things happened and came up that I had to switch things up, and I had to decide, okay, when would be the next best time to launch the course, and so I decided Wednesday would be the perfect time to launch the course. So the Daily Drawing Lessons course is going to be launching on Wednesday. I still don't know how much it's going to be. I don't know fully what all it's going to what the marketing push is going to be or anything like that. But I will say this, most likely everybody who has signed up for my newsletter may actually get first dibs at the course probably Monday or Tuesday. I might release it early to everybody who signed up for my newsletter on Monday or Tuesday. So if you are not signed up for my newsletter yet, please definitely go and look in the show notes. You can actually find, there's an area that talks about want to learn how to draw better, and you can go to that link. You can sign up. You'll get a free PDF of my top 5 tips for drawing better, and you will also be signed up for my newsletter, where you will be one of the first to be notified when the course goes live. And yeah, hopefully that's an incentive enough to sign up for it. Some other things to talk about are later on, either towards the end of this month or the beginning of next month, I'm going to be doing my next webinar, which is going to be on, I believe this is the working title right now, but it is How to Sell Your Ideas Through Drawing. So that's going to be an interesting thing. I'm still completely figuring everything out with that webinar, but that will be coming up probably beginning of June. I might have a landing page put up next week or the week after that, but it will probably be June when that webinar goes live. All right, let's see what else. So another thing that I want to talk about, I have like a little sticky note here of like things to quickly talk about before we get started with the actual creating, is lately I've been on this like health and wellness journey, and it's been the basis for the last badges that I've been creating. The first badge I created, which I might go back and redo, is Salads for a Week, which was a badge I created for myself as an incentive to have a salad every single day, at least one salad every single day for a week. Then I created Walk for a Week, which was going out and doing a long walk every day for a week. Then I did drinking water, which was a gallon of water a day. And then this past one was the keto challenge badge that I created, and you can actually find that in the my last upload to YouTube, where I go through and I recolored the badge using a couple of recoloring techniques. And so that whole journey, like the whole journey is kind of two things. It's number one, it's an outlet just to like try creating badges and trying new things, just having fun with it. But it's also a fun incentive in order for me to keep going on this healthy journey. It like keeps me motivated on it. I'm like, okay, keto challenge. All right, I'm gonna be working hard on keto. So far, this is day 5 of keto. I miss bread and potatoes so freaking much. You have no idea how much you love bread and potatoes until you go onto the keto diet, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. Of course, I think I might have messed up last night on the keto diet, but that's okay. One little mess up's not going to derail the whole system. But the cool thing is that, these badges I've been creating for that, it's a side project. It's a fun side project I just created. I created more for myself than for other people, just as a way to, get me going, get me moving, get me like, out there and getting healthy and everything like that. But at the same time, as I've been posting these badges, I've been getting a big outpour from people. People have been not only loving the badges, but they've also seen how much like these badges are inspiring them to get healthy and everything. In fact, since creating the keto badge, which I feel like was probably the most successful badge I've created so far, I've had 5 people decide that they wanted to go ahead and get onto the keto diet again or for the first time, and now we are talking back and forth, and now it's created dialogue between me and followers and me and my friends. And so now it's like this cool little thing how it's like this idea I had sparked other people to do similar things. So side projects can really be very powerful in that type of situation. So that's all I have for housekeeping. Going back to what we're going to be doing today. Today we are going to be creating an illustrated badge from start to finish, from sketching all the way hopefully to finished product, unless everybody gets bored and we decide to end it early, for my daily drawing lessons course. Now this badge is going to be used primarily probably on the cover of the actual course. It's something I was trying to figure out last night. I was like, okay, what am I going to do for my live stream? And then at the same time I was like, what am I going to do for a cover for the course? And so I decided, what better than to actually create a badge during the live stream for that course. So that's what we're doing today. But yeah, as people come in to watch the live stream, please feel free to let me know where you're coming from. Let me know, what you do for a living. I would love to hear, what everybody does for a living and everything. It's really, really cool to always hear where everybody's coming from, what they're doing, what they're working on, and if they have any weekend plans too. So that's always fun. My weekend plans are going to be working on my course and hopefully working on a client project I'm still waiting to hear from. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. But if there's no question... Oh, and by the way, by all means, if you guys have any questions that pop up, please feel free to let me know in the chat. So far, only Barry has been the one that's been in the chat. So I see there's 10 people watching, so hopefully 5 of you will jump in the chat, say hello, and get some dialogue going. It's always so much more fun when there is dialogue, when there is people talking back to you and everything. It's also one of the reasons why I love Adobe Live, because there's so much dialogue going on. That's my dream for my live streams, is to eventually have it to where so many people are in there, they're talking, they're talking to each other and everything. So yeah. Oh, actually, that gives me a good idea. 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna go and put into some channels I'm going live. I didn't even think about that. Always, when you do stuff like this, you should always post into your Slack channels. Sorry, I know that hearing me typing is probably very boring. I do apologize. Alright, so now I just got some people. Ooh, awesome. So we got some people in here. Yay. Hello, Jimmy. Great to see you again. It's always great to see people who come in who are usually in the chats and everything like that. It's great to see you guys. Federico. Hey, Federico. Hey, Lee. Oh, wow. How was Disney? Was it Disney World or Disneyland? I've been to Disney World once and been to Disneyland so many times. Hey, Richard. Hey, from Puerto Rico. Awesome. Hopefully everything's going great with you guys out there. I know that there was a lot of problems after the big storms and everything that hit Puerto Rico. So I'm glad that you're able to get internet access and everything like that. Let's see. Federico, graphic designer from Argentina. Awesome. That's great. That's great to hear. I've actually always wanted to go to South America. It's actually it was one of my goals. If I hit my financial goals for this year, I was going to take a trip down to South America because I wanted to definitely go to Machu Picchu. Unfortunately, it looks like as of right now, that's probably not going to happen. I'm probably not going to hit my financial goals for the year, but that's okay. Eventually, I will make it down to South America. I seem to have a lot of followers in South America, so that's really cool because it seems like a lot of people from Colombia, from Brazil, from Argentina, from Uruguay, Paraguay, all the Ys. All right, so let me get things set up right now because we're going to be switching over to the iPad Pro. See, Lee, when I went to Disney World, when I was, God, this was probably 2001, I think. Yeah, I think it was 2001. And it was, we just went to the regular Disney World park. I don't know if there was like a specific park we went to. I just remember that I went with my aunt and uncle, my cousin, and a family friend. And it was fun, but at the same time, it was very boring because my uncle wanted to go on all of these rides that for a 10-year-old kid was kind of boring. And I remember waiting for 3.5 hours for Peter Pan, the Peter Pan ride. I will tell you this: if you want to go to shorter lines between Disney World and Disneyland, go for Disneyland. The longest I've ever waited in line was an hour and a half, maybe. Everywhere, like when you go to Disney World, you're waiting in line for hours unless you're using fast passes. But for me, Disneyland outbeats Disney World any day of the week. Okay, so let's see. Let's go and switch over to the iPad Pro. And whoops. All right, so here we go. So now we're into the iPad Pro. We're going to get started. So for any of those of you who are just now joining in, today's live stream is going to be on creating an illustrated badge from start to finish, from sketching in the iPad Pro using Adobe Photoshop Sketch to then creating the actual badge in Adobe Illustrator CC. Sorry for that. I had a brain fart for a second. I don't know how far we're going to get, but hopefully we get pretty far along in the badge making process. If we don't finish everything up completely, I will be finishing it up later on. I just don't want to do a 2-hour live stream because those can get really hectic. We might do one. I don't know. We'll see. If everybody's excited about watching this as I am about doing it, excuse me, then we will definitely do a 2-hour live stream. By the way, if you're wondering, all of today's burps are brought to you by Perrier. Yes, I'm not sponsored by Perrier, but I love Perrier. This is, oh my god, I love Perrier. And I actually love plain Perrier too. That's the craziest thing. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. Okay, so yeah, so Lee, I think I went to the Magic Kingdom then. I think that's the one I went to. I would love to eventually go back, but I don't know. I'm actually Disney out right now because I went to Disneyland every month for over a year, and now I'm just like I don't want to go back for anytime soon. So I don't know. I might have to go back for the Pixar events and stuff. All right, so now we're gonna switch over to the iPad Pro. Now I can tell you guys this right now. I have no idea what the daily drawing lessons badge is going to look like. So this is going to be interesting. I did literally no prep because this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I do know that it's going to be a daily drawing lessons. So hopefully we won't spend too much time in here. What I am going to do is I am going to go into Pinterest. This is my Pinterest profile. By the way, if you guys want some great inspirations for illustrations, badges, branding, whatever it is, I have your fix here. My illustrations board has over 9,000 pins. I even have healthy eating on there too, if you guys are interested in that. And then I have my badges board here, which has 744 pins. Hey, Sky. Hope everything's going great in Saudi Arabia. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to go through and look through all of these bits of inspiration here. Now, I'm just trying to get an idea. The only thing I'm looking for at the moment is just ideas on shapes, on the shape for today's badge. Because I have no idea what I want it to be. I can tell you this right now. If you guys want a great source of inspiration for badges, my good friend Trey Ingram has been creating some pretty amazing badges. I love he's actually the one that inspired me to start creating badges. So I'm going to go into his Dribble account here so you can see. He actually created this current month's stickers for Slaptastic, which were all of these. You can see like the Virgin Islands. You can see Acadia. He created all of these badges specifically for Slaptastic for national park badges. So he does an amazing job. I sometimes will look at him for inspiration for how I want the badge to look. I think that when in creating this badge, I want it to be a little bit funky, but I want it to also be fun, inviting, and not too complicated. So we might go with something similar to this galaxy here, where it's just a simple triangle. Maybe we'll go with something a little bit more ornamental. Like I kind of even like how he went about doing this kind of badge here. I don't know. It's interesting to just like go through and look at some inspiration and everything. And so let's go back to the Pinterest board. Whoops, excuse me. Let me actually mute my computer. All right. So let's see. I don't want to go with one of these like super simple, just text and line ones like you see here with the San Francisco meetup or the Jetty. I would think that was Teddy, but okay, Jetty right here. We want to go a little bit more like illustrative. I don't think a simple circle will, like this Williamsburg Bridge badge over here to the right. I don't think that would be nearly as good. Let's just like scroll here and look. You can see some of Trey's badges in here, like the Peru badge, the Yellowstone, Denali arches. And then there's this other illustrator who's also creating some amazing badges. Alex Eamon, I think that's how you pronounce him. He also did this series of national park badges here. I've been loving watching his stuff. I don't know why, but this one, I just love this Kenai Fjords badge. I just love it. But yeah, he's been creating some pretty amazing badges also. Just big shouts out to these guys here. Let's see. I think we're going to jump back in here. I feel like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Because the one thing also to stress about whenever you're creating stuff, creating badges, is the ideas that you sketch out are not necessarily going to be the final product. Because when we go and we start working in Adobe Illustrator CC, things are going to change up. But I think like we can do is we can start off by sketching out some quick ideas. Normally I'll actually do a lot of my badge sketches in my sketchbook. But unfortunately I don't have a camera set up right now to do video through my camera. I'm hoping to eventually get that capabilities, but until then we're gonna have to do this in here. So it's the daily drawing lesson. So like I think what we're going to do is we're going to have it to where we have the badge actually split in half. We have daily drawing. Whoops. Wow. Talk about a fail right there. Drawing and then lessons. And then maybe because it's number 1, we'll have like a 1 right here. Maybe have that like shooting out the bottom of the actual badge itself. Have like a pencil be like the main object. Then maybe have a pen coming out right here. Or I guess it would be a Sharp. It looks like almost like a Sharpie more than a pen. And maybe an Apple Pencil. Just some like quick ideas. Add some little like details here. You know, it's one idea. It's not necessarily like what the badge is actually going to be, but it's one little idea there. Let's see. Let's try a different shape altogether. We'll go like more like a dome shape badge. And we'll separate the bottom here. Maybe we'll add like a little banner or something. So this part will say lessons. And this part will say daily drawing. And so one thing whenever I do my sketches for my badges, I never worry about super detailed, because everything that I'm going to be doing is going to be done in Adobe Illustrator CC, and everything's going to be flat vector, and I'm going to be using typefaces that I already have created for these. I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. A lot of people will do that. They'll create these super detailed, and sometimes I will do super detailed sketches for badges, but they'll go so far as to get the typography perfect in the sketches. I don't necessarily do that. I prefer to work with typefaces over custom lettering. I'm not the best at lettering, so I try not to put too much focus in on that. Okay, so we have this here. I guess what we could do up here is we could... I don't know, for some reason a pencil just sounds so great to me. So I think what we'll do is, let's see, what could we put up here? Well, for this one we could have like maybe a sketchbook that's maybe like opened on the desk. And then we have a pencil like right next to it. I'm already not liking this idea. I think there's something in this shape, but I don't think like we'd have to just like figure that out. Okay. Let's see. Does anyone have ideas for what the daily drawing lessons badge could look like? Let's try a circle badge. And we could do one where the text is the main focus instead of the actual illustrated elements. Good one, Jimmy. Then we could just have like a pencil. For some reason, like a pencil just like seems natural for this because we are talking about drawing. But I don't know. Maybe put some stars there or something. Have little elements there alongside the lessons. Let's see. Let's take a look at our inspiration again. Awesome, we got 12 people watching. That's good. I think I'm gonna go back to the triangle. I think we can put like maybe Bob, my blue Cyclops, up here. Just like those Stay Creative stickers that I have. I was looking at these element badges right here, like this left one here, or this like one right there. I kind of like how they have their layout. I think it might be cool to try something similar to that. So like we break it up similar to how they do it. And this is just some sketching ideas. This isn't necessarily going to be the final product, of course. So we have daily drawing. And then we still break out and we have this like little bar down here that says lessons. And I like the idea of a scene. But I don't know what that scene would be. A blueprint aspect, huh, Jimmy? Potentially. You know what? Let's actually remove Bob from up here, so it gives us a little bit more room. We could try and just like putting a face in there. But I don't know about that. I don't know. That is one of the hardest parts, is just figuring out. Hey, Nick. Figuring out what the badge should entail, like what elements it should have, or what the main focus. I feel like a pencil is probably going to be the best object for this, because I feel like we need some sort of central object for this badge, and I feel like a pencil is like one of the perfect things for that. Could do something like this, where the top of the badge is actually a sketchbook. And then maybe... Yeah, that could be. It'll be a little bit difficult, though, Nick, with the style of illustration that I'm hoping to do with this. So that's the only downside. But we do something like, you know, daily drawing lessons, and then like some sort of like indicator down here for one for the first course, maybe the up here. Yeah, Robin, I definitely agree. Like a pencil, it feels right. I don't know, like, because I know what you're talking about. Like, if we do something like this, where it's like, you know, maybe. Actually, that could be pretty cool. Let me draw that bigger, because that's actually that might actually be a pretty good idea. So like we have the actual like pencil lead up here, and in there we could have some something, a symbol or something like that. And then down here we can have either this like the like the pencil shaving marks, or I wonder, that could be a potential thing too. But we have like this rounded bottom here, but we still have this. So like this area could be like for something in particular. So we have like daily drawing, and then maybe we could have lessons in here, and then maybe down here we have course. And like have something right there, something right there. And something up here. Have some like little badge elements there. Not bad. It's actually not bad. And I wonder like if we do something like this one here. So like we have the regular triangle. Then we have a base down here. And then we could either just have this straight with lines, or we could still have this like curve here, or we could even go like this. Actually, let's do that. Let's try that. There we go. That feels better. Something along those lines. We could either have this have these solid with some sort of elements or words, or we can make them separate like chambers for 3 separate items. Ooh, I like that idea. I like that idea, Jimmy. So like we could have it right here, like actually in this, or you can have it actually coming out the bottom. And mess with the sizing, of course, but like yeah, I like that. Have some sort of like elements right here just to like round this out. This could be just saying the. Not bad. So I wouldn't actually use the Adobe Draw icon simply because the course is going to be, I'm selling the course, and so I don't want to get in trouble with Adobe. Let's see. What could be in here? We could go with the traditional. We could have up here. Like when you look at a lot of badges, whoops, you see a lot of certain elements. Whoops, wrong one. You see a lot of the same elements within badges. You see things like potentially like with looking at like for this instance, you have Mexico and you have Yucatan right here on the sides of this this object on the right side here. I wish like there was a way if when I'm sharing my screen I could actually just like press with my Apple Pencil and you could see where I'm pointing. But this like circular emblem here, we have these two elements, the MEX and the YUC, or even, and I'm not quite sure, I'm guessing, whoops, crap, there we go. So like the SA stands for San Agel on this left one, and the CC is Chili Company. So a lot of times you'll see abbreviations and things like that. Let's see if we have some more examples of that. Or like for instance with this one, we have ESTD 1985, and there's also DVN, which I'm guessing stands for Devon, and then GBR Great Britain. So we can add like little elements like that. We can also add little flares and other stuff. So I think what we could do is we could put something like, you know, ESTD, you know, 2018, something like that there. Maybe put, you know, my favorite thing to say, which is to stay creative. And then just like put little dots there to extend that outwards. I don't know. There's a few things we can do here. I think though the pencil might be, or some rendition of it might be the winner. We'll just have to see when we jump into Adobe Illustrator CC. If not, like there's other things we can do with that. Let's try. We'll do one more before we jump into Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to erase this one because this one don't like it. Let's try one more that's not the triangle shape. Let's try that dome shape again. And we can always change up the dome shape to any other type of shape or mess with the dome's base shape or something. Okay. So I think though splitting it up is still definitely a good idea. Or yeah. And then maybe have I just got an idea. We'll split up towards the middle. We'll have this will be the eraser end. And then coming out of the bottom here, we'll have this like little cleft. And if it's not straight, that doesn't matter. And then we have the point. And this is where we have that little emblem that has 1. And then we'll have, you know, daily drawing. Lessons. Just like that. I don't know, something like that seems kind of fun. And then just like in the background here, we can add like some sort of like patterned background. I have one similar, my wellness badge, one of my wellness badges. We can do something like that. Like there's, and then like have even something up here, and then have stuff down here too. So like this is where we could put if we want to put the ESTD 2018 right there. So there's a ton of possibilities with this. All right. So now we have those sketches on the iPad Pro. Now it's time to jump into looking at the actual creating this in Adobe Illustrator CC. So what I'm going to actually do is I have to make sure that this will work. So let's see. Let me pull up. I'm going to move my chat over so it'll be a little bit harder for you guys to see. Ooh, I like that Barry. I like that idea. We could show the one differently somehow, and then have like maybe the two be a little bit different. I don't know. I feel like pencil is going to be the best option for this because I can't think of another one that will work better. So I'm going to open up Illustrator, and let's see if we can't get the Mac view to work. It looks like it's working. There we go. Okay, so now we have Adobe Illustrator opened up, and now I have something I can actually point with for you guys. All right, so first things first, let's try that triangle idea. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a polygon. bring it down to 1. And by the way, if you guys are wondering how I did that, let me just stop and show you. Alright, so I've got the polygon tool right here. I'm going to press Option, I'm going to drag it out. Now, with it still clicked, I can still manipulate it. I'm just going to hit the arrow key up, and it will add points to it. And you can do this like infinitely. And the same thing works with the stars as well. Let me just create this triangle real quick. And with stars, you can click, and then you can just hit the arrow to increase the number. But also, if you hit Option, you can manipulate, Option, let's see, what is it? Because there's a certain one, like, you can see here, like, we have it changed a little bit. We hit Option, it switches. There we go. So it's, when you hit Command, you can actually click and drag, and you can pull the points out or in, like this. So you can really manipulate a lot of things here. Whee! Alright, so we have our triangle shape. Let's give it, we're going to pull out our swatches. Let's decrease the size of this a little bit. Whoops. Because we don't need it this big. Alright, and now we're going to give it a gray color. We're going to round the corners. I think, actually undo that, because we need to do one more thing to it first. We're actually going to add a we'll save a copy of this for later. We're going to try it first with that base. So we're going to bring this point down because I feel like this is too high up. Alright, then we're going to go into Pathfinder, and we're going to hit Unite. And we're also going to get rid of the extra points, because when you united it, it added 2 points to these corners here because we had the rectangle points and the triangle points. Excuse me. Alright, now we can go through and round. So we're going to just do these individually. So we're going to round the top corner here. And then we're going to round these corners. Not bad. I feel like these need to be rounded a little bit more. I think that's good. We'll round this a little bit more too. Alright, that feels good enough for me. So we're going to try out this first one here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to go and we're going to do offset path, which for those of you who don't know, offset path is under object, path, and then right here, offset path. I have a shortcut set up for it. It doesn't normally have a shortcut. It's one I created. And we're going to give it an offset of 10 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. Let's give it 15. Better. We'll make that a lighter color. So now we have this like nice border around this to work with. Alright. Next thing is we're going to create the tip of the pencil. So I'm going to create a copy of the triangle. I have this this line created here, and we're just going to hit divide. And we're going to deselect the top and delete the bottom. So now we have the pencil here. Actually, let's make this lighter. Make this one the lightest, and then we'll make this just like that. There we go. Now let's create, this is going to be the fun part. We're going to create some guides first. So we're going to create guides to make sure that we divide this up perfectly. The curves perfectly, I should say. Alright, so we're just going to take these and drag them over. Alright. Now we're going to take our pen tool. And we're first going to try and wing it. And see how we do. not bad. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. As always. I think right about here is good. So we're going to go in here, and there's a special tool. Just gotta make sure I can find it. Let's see. Let's see, where would it be? Okay, it's gonna be up here. So we're gonna get the join tool. We're just gonna join those ends. And now they're one stroke. I love the joiner tool. As soon as I found out about it, oh, so great. We're going to hit divide there, get rid of the top, keep the bottom, and we're going to make the bottom just a little bit darker. Not bad, not bad. I feel like I'm going to have to come back to this one because I feel like it could use something else. What do you guys think about it so far? Alright, I'm going to actually pull up my wellness badges because I want to grab... actually, I don't need to. Because I'm going to use a different typeface. I was going to pull up some typefaces from this. But I'm going to first, try out a different typeface. So we're going to do daily drawing first. And we're actually going to use Open Sans for this one. We're using extra bold. I think we're going to stack it. Alright. Play around with this a little bit. Play with the leading. I always forget. I have to actually have to look because I always forget what you call certain typography terms. Hopefully I'm not the only one. Alright, so we're actually going to decrease that a bit because we're actually going to go ahead and have lessons in here as well. We're going to make lessons a little bit smaller. I'm not 100% sold on it, but it's a work in progress. Helen, I don't use Photoshop enough to really have any problems. I actually, let me see, can I even update, or do I need it? Yeah, I still have to update. So I usually will sometimes wait. I won't get the latest updates for certain softwares until sometimes a month after the update. That way, if there's any bugs, they'll have them fixed up by the time I use it. Yeah, I feel like the one problem with this is that I think I made the actual pencil too wide. So I'm going to delete that. I have to go through here and undo all of my triangles. We'll move this up here. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it right now. This is what happens when you're a perfectionist. daily drawing lessons there. We'll actually undo those things so that we have that original copy. Just move that over and then paste in front. Because I don't want to get rid of it completely, because just in case I want to go back to it. Alright. Yeah, it just doesn't, I don't know. Like, maybe it's not that maybe it's not wide enough. Maybe that's the problem. That could be the problem. Huh, oh really? You know, it's interesting because I'll actually get that popping up. Illustrator was popping that up for a little while, and that's actually a precursor for Illustrator crashing. Are you using, Helen, are you using an older computer? Because sometimes it might actually not be false, what they're saying about not having enough RAM, because the older your computer is, the more likely you are to not having enough RAM for some of these new updates with the software. Okay, that's finally feeling better. I'm liking that a lot more. I'm gonna get rid of the lessons for now. All right. So when I go back and I look at my sketch here, I think I want to make the bottom part more curved. How did I fix it? I got a I got a faster computer. No, eventually it stopped, or I learned what were the maximums I could do with certain things. But it's just like, it's trial and error, because, you know, especially when you're if you're using an older computer and it doesn't have a fast enough processor. Oh yeah, Helen, 4 gigs of RAM isn't going to cut it. I can tell you that instantly. Yeah, 4 gigs, like, for instance, this computer I'm on right now has 16 gigs, and even it has problems from time to time. So, unfortunately, that's not going to be enough RAM in the long term. Yeah, because unfortunately, like, especially Photoshop is one of those things that takes up a lot of RAM. So that actually makes a lot more sense. It actually is probably the fact that you don't have enough RAM to run it, and so depending on what you're trying to do, it could definitely be bogging down your system. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. All right, so I'm just going to create a clipping mask for this. Oops. There we go. Not bad, not bad. We'll increase the size of this a bit. Yeah, and honestly, like I mentioned, it could be because of the fact that it just updated, and that's the reason why now you're having problems. Because some of the new updates that come out from time to time from Adobe, they can be very RAM heavy. Depending on what you're doing can also be a big factor for that as well. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, because like especially for me, because I use a lot more software than just Illustrator and Photoshop. Um, Another big one that bogs down my system is Adobe Premiere for my YouTube videos. That can definitely be very, very tricky with RAM. There's times where I can hear from my computer, like I hear it like, you know, revving up, and I'm like, I'm sorry, computer, don't die on me, don't die. But yeah, it's unfortunately that's just it's how it is. I'm sorry. And I could be wrong. It could be maybe there is like some sort of mess up with the update and everything, and maybe it's something that they'll work on. But to be honest, that's what it sounds like to me. Does anyone else have any input on that? Does anyone else feel like that there might be something else that might be going on? Community, guys, we have to help Helen figure out the issue. Alright, so I'm basically just playing around right now, trying to see what works and what doesn't. We are officially over the over the 1 hour mark. That's cool. I don't know how long today's stream's gonna be. There's 13 of you in here, so I feel like you guys are somewhat enjoying watching this. This is actually the first time I've ever even created a badge live for people to watch. So I guess that makes it kind of cool. So right now I'm just like figuring out how I want the lessons part to be displayed. I mean, I can definitely include it in here. Yes, agreed, Barry. I know that depending on the type of computer that you have, it can be really easy to upgrade it. In fact, I have an old MacBook Pro that my girlfriend uses. I bought it in college back in, which actually it's funny because today it marks 5 years since I graduated college. But I bought it back in 2010, and she uses it in college now in 2018. So it's still running perfectly fine for her. It is a bit slow, but what I ended up doing at my old job is the CEO of the company was a complete tech nerd. And I mean that in the best way. I really liked him. I do miss working with him because he was a great guy. He was a complete tech nerd, and he helped me replace the hard drive in the computer with a solid state hard drive, which helped it run a lot faster. And he helped me increase to the maximum RAM, which in that computer was, I believe, only 8 gigs of RAM. But a lot of laptops can go up to 16. And boy, I wish I had one of the iMac Pros. I love how much RAM those things can have. I can't remember fully. I think like what 128 gigs of RAM. If I had that in this computer right now, oh my god, things would be so different. The only reason I would want to buy that computer would be to get the maximum amount of RAM. I would not care about any other features. Don't care about display or whatever. I care about the RAM. I have no idea if you can, Helen. I'm not a PC person at all. I haven't owned a PC since I bought that MacBook Pro in 2010. I would imagine that you could. I'm not positive about it, but I would imagine that you could still do it. Alright, I'm going to make these solid because I'm going to go through and do a clipping mask within a clipping mask. And we're going to make these multiply 35%. Whoops, what did I do? There we go. Copy, and we're going to paste those in here. But then we're also going to make a clipping mask. Clipping mask within a clipping mask. It's shaping up pretty nice. Yeah, Jimmy, oh, you have no idea how much I wish I had 128 gigs of RAM in here. That would be so cool. Well, at Doodle Noodle, since I am absolutely 100% not a PC person, I will always choose, I'll go for the Wacom, but honestly, I wouldn't even go for a Wacom. I would go for the iPad Pro. If you're a PC person and iPad Pro is not either in your budget or it's not a feasible thing to use, I would definitely go with the Wacom over that. Well, I don't even know. Because to be honest, like the Wacom Cintiqs, they're not the best because they have so many cords and everything like that. That's the whole reason why the iPad Pro is a superior product in my eyes, and it's because of the fact that they're portable, they're easy to use. There's a whole bunch. Whoops. I have to go back up and look through the chat. I have a new iMac with 60. Oh, Nick, I'm so jealous. You have no idea. I am so jealous of the 64 gigs of RAM. I believe in here I have. Hold on, let me actually look. Oh, I have 32 gigs of RAM. I have 32 gigs of RAM in this iMac. This was the latest iMac before they came out with the iMac Pro. So yes, I agree. Like, I wish I had that. I'm so jealous, Nick. Okay. Yeah, so that means, what Barry said, that means that you're not going to be able to mess with the memory. Yeah, Federico, they really are cool. I probably could not use all the stuff that I use for it, but you know, Pixel Mosh Pit, to be honest, I would still, no matter what, go for a Mac because no matter what, I feel like they're a higher, superior product than PCs. And then this is going to get into a big discussion about Mac versus PC, but I prefer Macs 100% over PCs just because, like, for one, it's a little bit harder to hack them, which is definitely a good thing. Plus, like, I don't know, I think when you look at buying like PCs, regular PCs, and you go about getting an iMac, in, let's say, like, for instance, my last iMac lasted me 5 years, and it honestly it did a great job, whereas I probably would have had to keep upgrading a PC or buying a new PC every 2 years, which probably would have come out for what my Mac did, probably would come out to about the same, if not more, than the actual Mac itself. And by the way, I'm not a computer guy, so I could be completely wrong, but I agree, Nick. I do not like it. If I ever upgrade my MacBook Pro, I'm going to go for the model that does not include the touch bar. I do not like the touch bar at all. And honestly, I don't care about a touch screen for the MacBook Pro. I honestly don't see a reason to have a touch screen. Photoshop 2015. You know, I actually have multiple development friends who they are 100% Mac. They are still 100% Mac, even though their industry is PC. Just try this out and see how this looks. Not a fan. But we can do some other things to that. What are you guys thinking of this badge? Is it feeling good? I feel like I'll probably end up creating more badges over the weekend for the course, but I feel like this is a good like starting point. Let's actually drag copy down here so we have a copy of this. I'm gonna try this instead. Instead of doing this, I'm gonna remove that and put the course. We're going to group these together because we're going to do this. We're going to go through, there we go. Mac is too hipster. I was using Mac before hipster was even a phrase. I'm not. I don't consider myself a hipster at all. Like, I wear hoodies, yes, and stuff, but no, I'm not a hipster. Thanks, guys. Yeah, like, I feel like this definitely has a lot more work to go into it before I consider it good enough for the course. So I probably will, after we finish this live stream, I will probably go back and redo some things. I'm going right now. Well, I'm actually going to try something with the top. Put Bob in there a little bit, just to see how it looks. Not bad. I'm actually going to move this over and darken it, because I'm going to try... And by the way, for those of you who don't know, my blue Cyclops name is Bob. Bob has been my avatar for many, many years. He has changed dramatically through the years. Let's try this. Actually, that's pretty cool. I like that. I think it's nice and friendly. Okay. I feel like maybe putting something in the background might be pretty cool. Like, we still have this, like, this whole feeling of a pencil. Let's darken that up. And we'll darken that further. Then we'll go in here and darken this. I think this needs to stay white. Oh, sorry to see you go, Nick. Of course, he's already gone by now. All right. I think I might not do this. I might just see how it looks. But I kind of want to put a little bit of a glare on the pencil, on the actual like pencil handle part. Okay, so we're going to paste this into there. All right. actually what we're going to do is we're going to paste it into the same clipping mask as these. There we go. Not bad. I'm going to say, copy this over. I feel like we're getting somewhere. Like, I feel like this is like a solid direction. It just needs a little something. A Bob progression video. That would be cool. I'll have to go and look for him because like it's actually pretty interesting because I didn't realize this until probably, I don't know, a couple of years ago that Bob actually goes back farther than college for me. Bob was actually evidently an imaginary friend of mine. I forgot all about this, and then I subconsciously created this blue Cyclops, and it turns out that I remember years later that I actually had an imaginary friend that was a blue Cyclops, and I totally created him for fun. I knew he wasn't real. It was nothing. It was just like a fun thing with some of my classmates in like elementary school. But I don't know why. I just like all of a sudden remembered that a couple of years ago. Okay, let's do this. We need something that separates this. So we're going to paste this behind it. And then we're going to decrease the size of this. Okay. The course, and actually let's move these over here. We're going to decrease the size. Helen, of course, you might already be gone, so I apologize for just now seeing this. There will be an Instagram live, I believe. I feel like I haven't done one in a while, so I definitely probably need to do one. Okay, that's looking good. Now we have this area over here and this area over here. Okay, so I think we're doing good here. Now we just need to figure out what goes here. What we could do is we could do some sort of like icons or something. Let's actually jump back onto the iPad and look at some inspiration. I like to, if I have these types of situations where I'm trying to figure out what I should put in there, I try to look at how other people filled the space, because sometimes you can get some real gems in there. Because like one thing we could do is we could easily touch on like my location, so like San Diego is a good one, because we could put in the left corners of the screen, we could put you know, like SD and CA over here or something like that. So there are different things that we can possibly do there. Let's look at what they did for this coffee brand. So like they put in their location, so they put in, you know, Denton, Texas, so we could possibly put in San Diego, California. They have other little things in here as well, small batch and stuff. So I could put in state creative and or something like that. Try and touch on those type of things. All right, thanks for joining, Barry. Let's see, what else could we add in? I know it's a bit hard because of how long this stream is. Ooh, I actually like something I just saw here. Was it here? Yeah, so I like something here that we can possibly do with the course area. I like how they did like this the station. I really like that. I think that would look pretty cool in that little pill thing that we created. Yeah, so instead of having the there, we instead move this over. We paste the, decrease the size a bit. I like that. That looks pretty cool. Okay. I don't know. We're just trying different things here. All right. Let's try that whole San Diego idea. You know, there's so many different things that you can do here to like fill up space, and we could even do like a little scene back here. Like we could put a landscape or something like that just for fun. Like really push the limits of having this just be a pencil. Move this down here and move this up. I don't know. There's different things we can do. Oh no! I am so sorry. Whoops. For some reason, I thought that I had switched it back. I do apologize for that. Oh, that is such an idiot move on my part. I am so sorry, guys. Oh, I feel so stupid. Okay. So I moved that up so I can then move this up. And these to give this bottom area a little bit of breathing room. But I don't know if this is going to be how it's going to look final. That then allows us to move this up. I mean, I feel like this is starting to feel kind of good. I feel like there might be a little bit too much going on in here. But that's why making badges can be a lot of fun, is because you can really try almost anything. Sorry about that, Jimmy. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. Ooh, I got an idea. On either side of the lessons, we could put maybe a pencil or something. Yeah, sometimes when you really get into creating stuff, you kind of forget that people are watching. It happens all the time, believe it or not. Ooh, I like that. Like if we add some detail to these pencils here, that could look pretty snazzy. I feel like there's a point where it's too much, but I think that we're not actually. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you feel like having like the San Diego and the California over here, and then plus the state creative, state passionate, state positive, state creative? Do you feel like all that's too much, or do you feel like it actually really adds to it? Because I mean, I've seen badges that have 10 times as much information on them as these. So. Yeah, I think if we add some definition to these, that would be good. By the way, does anybody have any questions? Yeah, last night, me and my girlfriend went to Dave & Buster's. One of her friends, it was her birthday, so we got a lot of fun playing some games and stuff like that. The only sad part is that my girlfriend ended up giving away the thing that I won to her friend, even though it wasn't actually for her friend, it was actually for myself. And she didn't realize it. So that was an awkward conversation to have with my girlfriend. But it made her friend happy, so. I'll tell you this, though. If you guys didn't hear earlier, I'm on the keto diet, eating, whatever you want to call it, lifestyle. And it is so difficult to go out places. Like, I feel like I probably broke it. I broke, like, the whole eating way, because I ordered I was like trying to be as careful as possible about what I ordered, and I ended up ordering these like boneless buffalo chicken wings, and I realized after I got them that they were fried and battered, and so I'm like, oh crap. But I don't feel like it's too bad. I mean, if that's my only slip up this week, this first week of eating keto, then all the power to me, I think. All right, so that's really. I feel like this badge is really feeling good, guys. I really like this. I think that this is turning out to be pretty snazzy. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you guys think of this, of the badge so far? I say that, for not having a solid game plan going in, and going from the iPad Pro sketch that we originally had down here to this, that's pretty good. I'm really happy with how that's turned out so far. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, because we are over an hour and a half into the stream, and some of you are starting to leave and everything. I know, right, Jimmy? I think because of that, I think that I'm gonna go ahead and stop for now with the with creating the badge. I think that it'll be good just to have this be a surprise on Instagram, or whenever I show off the actual cover of the course. But if you guys have any questions whatsoever about about anything, really, about the course, about creating badges, creativity, drawing, freelance, whatever it is, please, by all means, ask away. And I think we'll do a Q&A for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes if you guys have any questions. But yeah, I'm going to switch back to my webcam now, because I'm going to save this out and I don't want you guys to see my files. Let's see. I don't know. I had a blast doing this. I hope you guys did too. Save this into the right folder. Course DL badge. Alright, so now I can bring back the browser to where I had it, so I can not have to like crane over to look at you guys. But what do you guys think of the stream and everything? Again, I'm sorry for those of you who joined in during the first attempt at the stream. I'm glad that we were able to get those issues fixed and everything with the lag. Unfortunately, I just had to restart my router, but it took me close to an hour to figure that out. Well, I feel like it went good. Thanks, Jimmy. I'm glad that you like them. So yeah, so Pixel Mosh Pit, I'm using OBS for my live streams. Eventually, my goal is, because right now I'm using my my iMac webcam for these. Eventually, the goal is to get a setup for my Canon 70D, so that I can then use that, and then that way, if I wanted to sketch into my iPad, into my sketchbook, I could then just like change the angle. I could have a tripod set up and put this on top, and then have an angle looking down at it. But right now I'm using OBS with my webcam. I create a couple of screens, so like for instance I can switch between my iPad Pro, the iMac, and my actual webcam itself. So that's how like my little setup for these live streams. And then I'll create stuff like this, like a little splash page that I can go to talk about like what I'm creating today, and in case I have to like do something off camera, like pick my nose or something like that. I can just switch to that. So, or if I have to like get up to go do something, I can just switch and show that screen. I actually learned when I was in San Francisco in March with Adobe. I talked to their cameraman, and he was explained to me like how I could then turn the Canon over here into my camera for my live streaming. I don't have the time to really research too much into that. Plus, I don't have I need to like save up some money to do that as well, because right now any type of YouTube or live streaming stuff doesn't really have too big of a budget when it comes to my business finances and everything. Because last year, oh god, I probably spent way too much money on equipment and stuff like that. Like, this whole setup here is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. So, let's see. Any other questions? Because I'm also going to be doing an Instagram live in a little while, and that will also be full of nothing but questions. So, if you guys have any questions, please, by all means, ask away now. All right. Yeah, because like I think if there's no more questions, then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and then this should go up later today. I know last week's stream, excuse me, went up Monday, but I'm gonna try and get it out earlier. The only thing that stops the live streams from going up right away is just creating the actual, the images for them. So like the cover images. That's the only thing that stops these things from going up quicker. Well, it looks like there's no more questions, unless there's a question that pops up while I am saying all this. If there is no more questions, then that's it for today's live stream. Again, let me just go over a couple of things before we go. I actually have a sticky note with the things on it. The first is to remember that hopefully this Wednesday I will be launching my daily drawing lessons course, the course that we were creating this badge for. The course, I still don't have a price for it yet. The landing page is currently being made, but the cool thing is that I'm going to try to launch the actual course landing page before Wednesday. And if you are signed up for my newsletter or mailing list, whether it's through my top 5 tips for drawing better, which you can find down in the show notes below, or if you are already signed up for my mailing list, I will be sending out a newsletter on Monday and potentially Tuesday talking about the launch of the course. So you guys can definitely check that out. Before I answer the 2 questions that came into the chat, also I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream that there will be a new webinar. The webinar is going to be, the current working title of it is How to Sell Your Ideas Through Drawing. The course is literally in the early stages of planning, but it should be going live, or I should be talking more about it towards the end of this month, and it will probably be in the beginning of next month. So there will be that to look for. Okay, so it looks like Jonathan Holburn. Hello, what advice for designers who had Ooh, hold on, I have to read this because I think let's see. Who had struggling to find internships or junior designers, how overcome the struggle to find a job from the United Kingdom. Okay, so I'm gonna try and read between the lines with that. So I'm going to tell you, let me give an idea of, first, I never had an internship. I never planned on having an internship, and I don't suggest people have internships. Instead, what I suggest you reach out to illustrators, designers that you admire, ask them for some advice, and start just creating for yourself. At the same time, as you're creating for yourself, be prevalent on social media. For instance, on Twitter, be on Twitter, follow, creative directors, art directors, senior designers, and everything like that of places that you potentially want to work for. And let's see. Okay. Hopefully you can read my lips. Sorry about that, Jonathan. Um, so for with like Twitter, for instance, what you're going to do is you're going to want to follow those types of people at the companies you want to work for, and every day just take a look at what they're talking about. And I would say once, 1 to 2 times a day, try and talk to them. Like when I say talk to them, I mean respond to one of their tweets. Like if they're talking about something that they're having problems with, or maybe they're talking about a conference that they went to, I would then go and suggest that you go through and just like say, "Oh wow, that sounds like a really cool conference that you went to. I would love to hear more about that." Or, "Oh, I was thinking about going to that conference. What were some of your takeaways from it?" Just start a little bit of a dialogue going. And as you do that more and more, next thing you'll know, you'll see them follow you. Then you'll see them responding to your tweets. Then what you'll want to do, want to start like showing them that you have like the initiative to do things. You have like the drive to do things. Post work that you're creating. And, if you're doing online courses to learn more, which I suggest while you're waiting to find a job or an internship, if that's what you want to do, go out and start sharing when you're completing stuff. Share like, for instance, I got my first job because I did the same thing where I reached out to the founder of a company, and we were talking back and forth, and he started seeing me completing treehouse courses. Every time I completed a course, I would share about it on Twitter, and that got him really excited. And so eventually, he invited me out to talk with him and a couple of people at the company. And by the time I left that, by the time I got home from that interview, or I guess meeting, I had a job at the company. So if you can really show a drive, initiative, you don't necessarily have to actually apply for jobs at places. The jobs will sometimes come to you, because that's what people are looking for. They're not just looking for the best designers or best creatives. They're looking for people who have drive and passion. Remember that thing where I say stay passionate? You have to show that passion to them, because sometimes, you have a little bit of a ways to catch up on the creative side. So just be positive. Like how I did that. Passionate, positive, creative. Let's see. Hopefully that works for you, Jonathan. If you need more, if you couldn't read my lips very well, please definitely reach out through email or through direct message on Instagram. Please do. Okay. Epitunes. Do you have a template for your video thumbnails? I do have a template. Basically, I have like 3 templates that I use occasionally. I use one over and over again. It's basically I take a photo with my Canon, and I edit it in Adobe Lightroom, and then I bring it into Photoshop, into the template, and then I just type in whatever it is, whether it's like live stream, and then I put the title of the live stream, or if it's an actual tutorial, I'll do that. And then I have another one that I do that is if I have some sort of like illustrate element that I can share. But yeah, I do have a template for my video thumbnails. Whew. Okay, wow. That's a lot of talking. All right, so, glad, Jonathan, glad I could help you out with that. All right, so I think that's it for this live stream. I want to thank everybody for sticking around for so long, for watching this live stream, for bearing with me with all the problems that we had the first attempt at this live stream earlier. I also, of course, always want to wish you guys a great weekend. And as always, remember to stay passionate. Stay passionate about everything that you're doing, everything that you're, going through and everything like that, about your goals, about, your creativity and everything. Stay positive that even if things are not going very well, they will get better. You have to stay positive that your passion is going to get you through, that your creativity is going to get you through. And always stay creative, because you have to stay creative about how you're going to stay passionate. You have to stay creative about how you're going to stay positive. You have to remember to be, passionate, positive, and creative. Those things are three major things I always say at the end of all of these videos, because hopefully you guys are staying, passionate, positive, and creative. That's it for this stream. The recording for this stream will be up later on today. I will try and get it up as quick as possible. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed, watching me create this badge. The course will be going up next week. The webinar will be announced probably in a week or two. And this is a lot. So thanks, Jimmy. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and stay safe if you guys are going to be doing anything crazy. So bye, everybody.